Hello there, football fans. Welcome to the Mercurial Trequartistas Gamecast, your weekly dose of Premier League passion, predictions, and proper football talk. By way of introduction, I'm Datan, and joining me is my co-host, the man whose insights always arrives well ahead of the curve. Mark, how are we feeling?
Oh, so very festive. I've survived my visit from the three ghosts of football, past, present, and future, to make it through to another year.
So, what's on the menu today? We will start, as always, with Premier League talking points. We will then move on to our second segment, which is fantasy football tips for the weekend ahead. And we will round things off with our third section, the obscure facts segment. It's the trivia corner earning its stripes week after week. So, let's begin with segment one, Premier League talking points. Straight into it, Leeds United. A corner turned. So Leeds seem to be out of the woods, certainly compared to a few weeks ago when they faced City, Chelsea, and Liverpool in quick succession. Now, their results were excellent against those three clubs, and that's clearly provided a platform for Leeds to build upon. Daniel Farke's job seems safe for the moment, and I think they are 6 points clear of the bottom three clubs in the Premier League. Mark, thoughts?
Well, not so long ago, the press were reporting that he only had 5 games to save the job. And with those 5 games, including those teams, you'd have looked at it and gone, well, on paper, that's a tough ask. But they've not just come out with it with really good results. They've come out with it performing fantastically well as well. It's been a very good sequence. Daniel Calvert-Lewin is being clinical and putting away the goals, and Stack's been playing great. They've made some very good teams have a lot of problems on the pitch, so they deserve to have got out of the relegation zone. 6 points sounds good, but home form still has to come into play here. They can't let up. They've got to keep on going, keep doing with what's been working, and yeah, every chance of making a play of it and surviving for next year.
Absolutely. So I think they may be restricted to loan signings due to FFP concerns in the January window. So I think they spent close to about £100 million in the summer. They might be able to bring in players on loan. But the thing to note is that again, if you bring in so many players, as we've seen with Liverpool and other teams, it takes time for them to gel. And exactly the same thing's happened with Leeds. Sunderland have been outstanding with regards to that. They've, also bought a ton of players for the Premier League, but they've gelled quicker than the rest. But the Leeds squad seem to be gelling. And you've touched on Stack and Calvert-Lewin. They are the form players, but with Calvert-Lewin, what Leeds have is a proven Premier League striker, and he's now truly firing on all cylinders. I think in the last set of fixtures, Palace were absolutely destroyed by Leeds. I think the score was 4-1 to Leeds. Palace are very much an informed team at the moment, and how Everton must rue that Calvert-Lewin is no longer with them. I know that he struggled with fitness when he was at Goodison. Leeds also seem to have cracked the code with regards to his fitness, which is even more impressive.
If he can keep it up, it could even be a late run for the England squad as well. I mean, England's out and out strikers outside of Kane. I mean, Watkins isn't really in form as far as the goals are concerned. You've got Ivan Toney playing abroad. Calvert-Lewin could be an outside chance here. So yeah, if he can keep it going, keep fit, then yeah, could be making a little late run for the England team. Who knows? As far as Palace are concerned, I think to be fair to Palace, yeah, that was a hammering. But I do think that was the first game that you're sort of looking at them and going, "Ooh, are they struggling a little bit with fatigue? The European exertions now, are they catching up? Because that's a lot of games midweek for a team that doesn't typically qualify for Europe, and they've been coming thick and fast these matches. So maybe a little bit of exhaustion there. They looked like they'd sort of turned it around a bit for the League Cup match against Arsenal. That was incredibly close. But yeah, hopefully they can get a second win and go again.
Absolutely, absolutely. We move on to story number two this week, and we were going to focus a bit on AFCON. and talk a bit about Premier League players there because there's an awful lot of them. Obviously, it's the same with every international tournament, but AFCON 2025 it kicks off on Sunday, the 21st of December. We are in the middle of the Christmas period, and it's those times when you just don't know what day of the week it is. So the 21st of December was a few days ago, but it's been going on in the last few days. Yeah, look at your face. You're just like, yeah, exactly.
It's
Everyone
what?
says this. It's what? Yeah, everyone says this over Christmas.
It was the 2nd of December a day ago. Is that why the
But
fancy meal was out the other day?
oh yeah, it was rather good, wasn't it?
Oh,
All these mince pies just keep appearing.
gotta start paying more attention.
But focusing on Senegal, if we start with them, they've been one of the standout teams in the group stages. They have Sarr, Spurs, and Gay of Everton, and they helped their side to a 3-0 win over Botswana. They topped their group early on. Egypt, led by the one and only Mo Salah, they have secured progression to the knockout rounds with a 1-0 victory over South Africa recently. Salah has again been central to their attacking threats, and they also have Omar Marmoush, who's at City. He's a bit out of favour at the moment there, but he's a very, very talented striker. Nigeria, they have a very, very strong contingent, especially from Fulham. They have three players from Fulham, so that's Iwobi, Bassi, and Chukwueze. And they opened with a 2-1 win over Tanzania. They've yet to find consistent cohesion in attack, but they have a lot of good players, and they always are favourites for the AFCON. There's DR Congo. They have one Bissaka of West Ham, and I think it's Noah Siddiqui of Sunderland. And they picked up a fairly narrow 1-0 win over Benin. That's keeping them competitive in Group D alongside Senegal. It's been a good tournament so far, Mark. I mean, we've both been watching games.
Yeah, it's just been nice sort of seeing, some really, really good attacking positive play. Uh and that is, usually is indicative of AFCON anyway. But I think Egypt look like they're on a bit of a mission. I've watched both Egypt matches and they look hungry in this one. Went behind in the first match and then, to come back from 1-0 down, 2-1 up. Mamouche, Salah, both bringing in the goals, and then the Salah penalty in the second game last night. That was, yeah. You could feel there was a little bit of nerves going on there. He looks a little, feeling the weight of that penalty. I think on that one, but put away convincingly, and yeah, some really really nice games. Looking forward to catching some more.
Absolutely, this because, well, I think this week, so there's the Premier League fixtures, but there's a lot of fixtures through AFCON as well, so there will be much football to watch. But to me, it highlights two key points. Firstly, the strength and depth of Premier League squads. They more and more players are sort of going there. And secondly, AFCON, as you've just mentioned rightly, it has developed into a major international tournament, and it's giving more and more Premier League players, and in fairness, players from other leagues, the chance to grow and showcase their talents at an international level. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, I think although I got a little bit yeah, a little bit worried when I saw Daka celebration though. That looked painful.
So painful, but it
Oh
was so
my
impressive
word.
because I mean, he just got back up and just like kept celebrating. I
Oh,
bet it
well,
must have
that'll
hurt,
be the
but
adrenaline from the goal. All the neck injury.
God, he's a talented striker. I mean, he's still with Leicester, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, still
yeah.
with Leicester. And yeah, I mean he's got Premier League history as well. He played a few matches there. But it was a good. I mean, it's a good finish. Late as well. But if you look at them photographs that have got it at point of contact on the ground, it looks horrific. It looks all wrong. So glad it wasn't a bad injury, and hopefully more goals will follow.
People say that the angle of his neck, it was a bit like, old photographs of like Rocky taking punches from Ivan Drago in their famous match. It was a bit
Yep,
like that. That was the angle, but
I wasn't there for that one.
We move on
Got
to
it on
story.
repeat.
We move on to story number three now. So we are approaching the mid-season transfer window, which opens on the 1st of January, as you all know. Mark, I'm going to read out a few names for you. Could you just give me your thoughts on the players whose names I'm going to read out and just sort of see where it goes from there? That's okay? Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So we start with Semenyo.
Ooh, everybody wants him, but only one will get him.
And who's that
I
going to
think,
be?
well, I don't know. I think throughout the season, it looked like Liverpool were the favourites, but it's starting to look like a City late attempts is sort of turning heads a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe they're the new favourites, but apparently the talks have been developing nicely there. But who
So if
knows?
he goes to City, do you think they might sell Marmoush or even Oscar Bob?
uh, maybe one of them. I think. I mean, Mamouche is having he's having a pretty decent tournament at the moment. So if they were to move him on, they'd probably be able to get a nice bit of money for him. But then saying that, if Haaland is injured, who do you want coming in for him? I don't know. I think if they're sort of taking the title on this year, I think you want to keep hold of Mamouche.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, I think Omar Marmoush and Hugo Ekitike used to play together at Frankfurt, so this was in the not too distant past. Isak's out injured now for a while. It's unlikely that City would strengthen a rival, but Liverpool have kind of fallen away. But if they are thinking long term, but do you think it's possible that Liverpool might go for him?
I don't see why they wouldn't be interested, but I also don't see City turning around and helping them out. If you look at the players that have gone either way, I mean, back in the day, I mean, then they used to have quite a few players going back and forth. But recently, I think you're only really looking at James Milner, and I think that was down to City thinking, well, you know, he's an older player. He's not going to get much more years. Little did they know he was going to go. Yeah, I'm going to my 40s, and I think Liverpool got a decent 10 years out of him. And then Colo Touré, and again, I
Yeah.
think that was kind of like an end of. It was looked at
Mm.
as an end of career move for him. Sterling went the other way. Just had a
Yeah.
little season. They'd had a little title fight between them, but the year after wasn't great. And I think the sensible money was on a bit of a drop off. I don't
On that
know.
subject, I only have one thing to say, and that's Brendan
Oh,
Rodgers.
Brendan
Brendan
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
You want to see Brendan Rodgers go to City?
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying that on that subject. So if you know the at that time when Sterling went to Liverpool, all we have to say on the matter is Brendan Rodgers because he was the
oh,
coach then. So we move on to the second name. This is interesting. Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen.
Mm.
You would think a lot of teams would be really going for him. I kind of get the feeling he's very loyal to West Ham. He's probably stayed there when there've been offers on the table previously. I think it'd have to be a good offer and a big club to tempt him away from West Ham.
Going to say that, historically, people might have thought he would go to Spurs or Chelsea, but he's so incredibly loyal to West Ham. He wouldn't join either of those clubs because there's beef in between West Ham and those two clubs. They don't like each other. If he were to move, it would probably be a bit further up north or even abroad. He's very, very talented, but in a way, he's a bit like the modern day Matt Letizia, very loyal to West Ham, who are a big club. But Nuno is there. We always say that Nuno, over time, he builds a mighty team.
Yeah,
Perhaps he sees this as well, and he's happy to stay put. I mean, he may earn a bit more at, say, City, or at Man United, or even at Newcastle if he were to go there, even though they have amazing strikers at present. But he knows that there's a very good possibility that, say, 18 months from now, he will be playing in a very, very strong Hammers team. So, name number three.
Oh,
The
name of
might,
three.
the mighty Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Oh, maybe not this year, but I think he has got the eye on the Premier League record. At some point, I think he'll come back to the Premier League and be like, "Yeah, go on then, Shearer. Let's knock you into second on those match of the day lists." And he's there. He's within touching distance. I mean, he's had a great sort of time uh, scoring in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
But there's been all kinds of rumours for him as well. And I mean, Barcelona, Madrid have been linked.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, he really will have his own. He's going to have his own pick.
Yeah.
Basically, wherever he wants to go, he will go. If he wants
Mm-hmm.
to try and take on the Premier League record, which I think he fancies, I
Hmm.
can totally see him coming back to one of the Champions League, Premier League sides.
Hmm.
Um, but if Barca and Real are knocking as well,
Or even Saudi, if he thinks towards the end of my career, if I want one final huge payout, it's not inconceivable that he would join Cristiano and all the others over there.
yeah, maybe. But I think he's got one more move in him. I think he's got another club there before he's looking abroad.
Yeah, nice. The final name,
Oh,
Gehi.
okay. Yeah.
Gehi.
Gay. Oh, right. Okay then. Um, do you know what? This is another one, isn't it? Where Liverpool were linked all the way through and just couldn't get it over the line. I think this one might. I think this could happen.
Hmm.
Um, in January, Liverpool must have one eye on sort of defensive cover at the moment, and they could have definitely done with him. Palace sort of held firm. Rumours out it was Glasner that basically said if he goes, I'll walk. Um, but the chairman is probably the kind of chairman that he's not going to want a player to go for nothing. If he can get a little bit of money out of it, why not? So yeah, I think where he could be on the way then January.
Okay, I'm just going to raise a nano points.
Nano
Two
point.
player nano point time. Two
Oh, go on then.
players. I think there's two players who could well move on loan come January. They both need it. So the first is Harvey Elliott. For
Yep.
whatever reason, Emery hasn't taken to him, which is really surprising. Um, I think long term, he's unsure if he has a future at Liverpool, the slots, so he may go for a loan move elsewhere. And there will be many Premier League clubs who would be interested in him. I think Harvey's a very, very talented young player. He's done well for England. He's done very well for Liverpool as a squad player over the last few years. And the second player is Nicholas Jackson at Bayern. I've been hearing he's not been doing that well. He's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. There's any number of clubs they would do well to sign him. Hint, hint, Everton, Mr. Moyes, if you're listening, you would do very well to sign him. That's just a thought.
If he is, he's watching it on repeat.
Let's see. Well, there you have it. Enough opinions to rival a very rambling and very bloated Gary Neville monologue. We will, of course, keep an eye on these stories in the weeks ahead. We move on to fantasy football. Let's get straight into it. We have much to go through. Mark, you're over to you.
Okay then, play the clip. Yeah, well, this we play in a head-to-head league, and I'm trying to do the league without playing Haaland because everybody else seems to be playing and captaining Haaland. So this week I went up against a player who had Haaland, had captained Haaland, and was 7 points ahead of me going into the last Sunday. 7 points behind. I had one player left to play. I
Hmm.
basically needed a goal and full 90-minute appearances from this player to turn it around. And
And
the player was Morgan Rogers, so he got 2 goals.
amazing. I was going
So
to
yeah.
mention him in the breakdown, but shall I run through the fixtures very, very quickly?
Oh,
Just
why not? Yeah, yeah.
okay. So Arsenal v Brighton. Arsenal's attackers are the ones to go for. So Saka and Gyökeres, they're strong choices. I think Arsenal are going to dominate possession and create chances here. So if you can pick heavily from Arsenal this week. Brentford v Bournemouth. This is a tight fixture, so Brentford's attack can be scrappy. Bournemouth's forwards and the main man, at least for the moment, is still Semenyo. Could pop up on the break. Consider players from these two squads if you need cheap options. Then we have Burnley v Everton. Everton can be consistent away from home, but Burnley are not the strongest team in the league, so Everton's midfielders and forwards may be amongst the goals here. If they start, I do think there is a very, very low potential for a clean sheet for both sides here. Chelsea v Villa. Both teams are in pretty good form. Palmer for Chelsea is the one to go for. You've just mentioned him. Morgan Rogers is in supreme form at the moment. Amazing. Pick him at all costs. Amazing player. Then we have Palace v Spurs in the last set of fixtures. Palace lost really badly to Leeds, as we've mentioned. Spurs lost really badly to Liverpool. I'm going to go with Palace here. They still have excellent defenders, though, Mark, as you said rightly, they do seem to be tiring a bit. But I'm going to go for Palace in this one. Then it's Liverpool versus Wolves. Liverpool at home against one of the league's weakest sides, certainly in terms of the defence. Hugo Ekitike is in sparkling form. Pick him. And note that Konate and VVD often score from set pieces from time to time, or on top, as Konate would say. Pick them as they may well pick up points here if Liverpool, if they dominate set pieces and score. Forest versus Chelsea. City on to dominate possession and chances. Mark, cover your ears. Erling Haaland is a standout for the captaincy pick when
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
available.
whoa. Who? Who?
I think in the last set of fixtures, Forest suffered a very tame loss to Fulham. They want to sort of get better, but they seem to be a bit low on confidence at present. I feel that City could go nuts. It's as simple as that. In the final two fixtures, Sunderland versus Leeds, both promoted teams, both playing well. Leeds are the informed team at the moment, though Sunderland are very, very strong, both in terms of defence and on the counter. I think Sunderland's defenders are decent cheap options if you fancy a budget clean sheet punt. Leeds, you've mentioned Stack, and we both mentioned DCL. They're the ones to go for. And finally, West Ham versus Fulham, I should say. Both teams can score, in particular from set pieces, but the two main men, Bowen, who we've just spoken about, and Harry Wilson, who we also touched on last week, they will steal the headlines. So there we go. And the captaincy picks Haaland and Ekitike at Liverpool. I think he could be amongst the goals against Wolves, so they're the ones to go for.
Yeah. I think the Liverpool side, there's not many outfield players fit either. So if you're going to go with Liverpool, it's going to be a case of picking wisely. Wilson plays in his position of away at AFCON, so he should definitely be starting.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
should be a nice round of fixtures there.
And you raise a very good point because everyone, please remember that with the glut of games which are going to start over the holiday period, and they start as of this weekend, and AFCON ongoing, many teams they will rotate quite heavily. So do pick accordingly, everyone. Right. If we move on to the obscure fact section, first obscure fact this week: the fastest hat trick in the Premier League. Sadio Mane scored 3 goals in 2 minutes 56 seconds for Southampton v Villa in 2015. It remains the fastest hat trick in Premier League history. His goals came in the 13th, 14th, and 16th minutes. Southampton won 6-1, and the feat cemented Mane's reputation as being truly explosive. What a player he was, Mark.
Yes, and how is that ever going to be beaten? I mean, you thought the Robbie Fowler one in the early 90s was was rapid, but this was sort of like every single thing going in, wasn't it? It was, and you can watch it over 3 minutes,
Yeah.
including with the original replays, and you're going, oh right, that replay's over. Oh, he scored again. But yeah, rapid fire, scorching pace, and yeah, very good runs at Southampton and Liverpool.
So 2 minutes 56 seconds. In a way, it's the perfect Premier League short.
It is, yeah. It would literally fit on a shot. It's under the three minute zone. So yeah. Speaking of Liverpool, we do actually have the answer from last week's trivia question as well, which was in the lowest scoring penalty shootout
Yeah.
that I could remember. Liverpool won 2-0 in the shootout against Birmingham. Redknapp got the first penalty, and we asked who got the second. The only clue being the best name in football.
Go on.
Stig Inge Bjornaby. I
Nice.
mean, what a great name. And he's just signed back for Rangers. I think he's signed up as a football consultant last week as well. So he is back in the UK.
He was a good player. He could really pass the ball from what I remember. But we move on to the next two obscure facts, and they're both supernatural themed because we are in the Christmas period. Everyone loves a supernatural tale of Christmas. The first of these, it concerns Deepdale, which is the home of Preston North End. So staff, stewards, and maintenance workers, particularly in the ground late at night or early in the morning, they mentioned hearing what they described as a single sharp referee's whistle, echoing briefly around the stadium. So, what makes the reports notable is their consistency. Witnesses typically describe one short whistle, not repeated blasts, and it's never accompanied by voices or movements. So the whistle reports they became part of internal stadium folklore, and they passed in between generations of stewards as an example of what they might hear during solitary night shifts. Importantly, PNE, they never promoted or sensationalized the story, and it's only appeared in heritage interviews, oral histories, and local folklore collections rather than being tabloid ghost stories. I thought I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one sharp whistle as well, it's not full time. It's a free kick getting given, isn't it? Um, yeah, if we were doing football X Files, Scully would be going with auditory hallucination. But because it's Christmas and we're going full on ghost, we're going full on Mulder here. So yeah, it's totally a ghost whistle.
So, our section. So, in the obscure facts, from time to time, we have supernatural tales. So, are we turning this into the footballing X-Files, where, as and when we have such a tale? I think Mulder and Scully would be proud of this. They really would
Well,
be.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, you'd be able to get an FBI all expenses trip to the UK, and who wouldn't want that? Catch a few football matches.
Yes, and the second supernatural tale and the third obscure fact this week is about Old Wembley Stadium. So, Old Wembley it opened in 1923 and it was demolished in between 2002 and 2003. It was truly one of the most emotionally charged sporting venues in the world, hosting FA Cup finals, international matches, concerts, and national ceremonies. So, in the final years prior to demolition, especially during overnight security shifts and early demolition work, multiple workers, they reported hearing unexplained footsteps, distant applause, or crowd-like murmurs in areas that were otherwise silent and unoccupied in the dead of night. So these sounds, they were most often reported around the Twin Towers concourse and central stairwells. So security logs from the period confirmed that noise checks were carried out on several occasions, though no physical causes were ever found. Engineers involved in the demolition, they were interested in this, and they are obviously men of science. They suggested that wind movement through exposed internal voids, combined over time with the hollowing out of the structure, could produce echoing effects. However, workers and the same engineers noted that the noises often occurred during still conditions and they would stop suddenly. So the noises would be audible and then nothing. This would only add to the unease. And finally, as with Preston North End in the earlier obscure fact, so the English FA, they never issued a statement on the claims and no paranormal investigation was officially conducted. And the stories, they survive today as part of the oral history of Old Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those where it's quite anecdotal. I think there are uh, reports of people feeling uneasy in the streets around that part of Wembley as well, or having a feeling of uneasiness. But yeah, if we're going to play the football X Files card, Scully might say it's musical ear syndrome. But again, it's Christmas, so we're going full Mulder. This is totally a spectral, spooky spectator, or two, or three.
Excellent. Well, that's all we have time for this week. So until the next time, keep the faith and please like and subscribe to our channels on various social media and get involved there if you are so inclined. We are back sometime next week with more TMTG goodness, and there's much football to be played over the Christmas period. Till the next time, until all are one.
In the words of Tiny Tim, you only sing when you're winning.